Family, should join us live. What's good? What's good? Oh boy, uh, it's been a very long week since my last live stream, but I am glad to be on again. Um, Shout out to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate the family. Thank you for your support. Thank everyone that comments on my channel. Gives me a whole new perspective and understanding as well. So a lot of my views that I present are of my own intuition as well as from things that I've studied. But I welcome anyone who would differ, and give me a different, approach, of thinking. So yeah, this is social media. I do not own social media, so everyone is entitled to their own opinions and whatnot. All right, but as my title, my channel is involved. I am a Pan-Africanist. I promote Pan-Africanism, the global unification of everyone of African descent, wherever you find yourself. Okay, primarily if you look like me, okay, you have African ancestry. Okay, it is paramount that you connect. Okay, you connect with everyone that looks like you. Okay, you know principles that I stand on. Okay, it's only through unity that we can collectively achieve anything meaningful as a people. Okay, moving forward into the future, global population of everyone of African descent. Okay, we need to unite. Okay, else there'll be no future for us. Okay, because as we are divided and as we are scattered, okay, it will be easy to defeat us. Okay, and get rid of us as a people. Okay, and saying this, okay, evolution, okay, favors nobody. Okay, evolution is decided by nature, and believe it or not, everything will change. Okay, evolution only means change. Evolution is everything will change. Okay, the anatomical human being as you see right now, you having a look at me, okay, will change in 1,000 years. Okay, people will no longer look the same 1,000 years from now. So don't put your money on that. Okay, but embrace unity. Okay, it's the only thing that will last you forever. Okay, right. So thank you all for joining me. I see one person here with me. Let us know who you are, and yeah, shout out to the family. Okay, all right. So today's topic. And shout out to I got a new haircut. Okay, from this guy. He's an Iraqi guy. He's just down the street. I just thought I'll give him a try. So yeah, I got a haircut from an Iraqi a couple of days ago. He actually didn't know what he was doing. He's never cut an afro hair before. He was struggling. Yeah, I had to teach him how to comb my hair, and that was a bit disappointing. But I thought he was a barber, and he had some, you know, African posters in his barber shop, but he's never cut an African hair before. So it's a bit disappointing. So yeah, I think he did quite a good job. Okay, but he's got to improve, right? He's got to improve. Neymar, thanks for joining the stream, my lovely sister. Yeah, thanks for passing by. Yeah, how's it going? I'm early today because again, I am undergoing training at work at another department. So I'm on track to becoming going into management in my company. So it is necessary that I familiarize myself with all the equipments on the floor and stuff like that. And so yeah, my company is a very global company that specializes in the manufacture of electrical cables. So it's a very, very big company, and I'm very privileged to have landed myself in such a great opportunity. Right. So until further notice, I'll be on the afternoon shift, and yeah. All right. So let me know if the sound is good, Neymar. Let me know if the sound is good. Let me know if everything is all right. Okay. while somebody, I'll just do a sound check. I'll do a sound check. I have been indulging myself with some Afrobeat music. Lately, I've been listening to vocal trance and vocal dubstep and whatnot, but I've just been like recently I've been listening to Afrobeat, and oh my goodness, that shit is good. Afrobeat is so good, right? It's so chill, you know. But yeah, I am going to I'm gonna do a sound check. Listening to Afrobeat. Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. And I will share this with my friends as well. All right, all right. So yeah, if you're joining me for the first time, please subscribe, you know, to the channel, okay, and follow me on Instagram, okay. That's my other social media platform where you can message me and stuff like that. All right. Or else you can also email me on chiefdino@hotmail.com. All right. So before I get into the topic, today's topic is Justin Trudeau. Okay, blackfaced. Okay. I was very shocked that Justin Trudeau, of all people, okay, is a racist. Okay. Uh, do I believe racists can have a change of heart? I think so. Okay. Racism is only a sentiment. Okay. And before I will get into you know, the topic proper, but it can be sentiment. Okay. And also it is also an institution. Okay. You know, racism is institutionalized. This is by definition from a gentleman by the name Michael Imhotep. Okay, he's a historian. Okay, he's a history teacher, not a historian, and he says that racism, okay, is a system of oppression. Okay, okay, which deals with the distribution of wealth. Okay, or deals with the acquisition of wealth and resources, and a select group of people have all the wealth and the majority basically have trickles or nothing. Okay, and that is racism. Okay, systematic racism. So it's a system of oppression. Okay, and racism can take different forms where individuals can have sentiments. Okay, black people can be racist as well. Okay, i.e., if black people have wealth, okay, and they shut the door on other people, okay, that is racism. They deprive other people, that's racism. But at the moment, are black people racist in that regard? I don't think so, because majority of the wealth of the world is controlled by a select group of people who are, i.e., Europeans, majority, okay, or aka white people that call themselves white, you know, albeit they're not white. Okay, right. Yeah, so and racism is perpetuated through politics or policies put out by politicians. Okay, so politicians make out or make up policies, okay, that involves the distribution of wealth and resources. Okay, so that makes racism tied in with government and power structures. All right. So with that definition aside, okay, now you're hearing comments, you hear it on the news now about Justin Trudeau being wearing blackface, and blackface is, you know, is a racial, you know, imagery of, you know, downing black people and, you know, putting black people in, you know, submissive, you know, light. Okay, and I'm struggling to find words here, but basically people even here in Australia, there were people called out for wearing blackface. There's some teams a few years ago, a football team what's called wearing blackface. You know, people wear blackface to parties, and there's an outrage, and then people keep doing it. Okay, but it's a symbol, okay, of racism. Okay, even though that these people, okay, wearing the blackface have no power or whatsoever to affect any policies or any sort of resources, distribution of resources. Okay, it still gives us a reminder of the power structure in the past that was very, very racist to Black people worldwide. Okay, so in 2019, I see Australian society as very, very progressive, very liberal, progressive country. Okay, we do not tolerate racism here in Australia, and I suppose everywhere else, you know, people come out saying that they do not tolerate racism, but then, you know, we see images of select few or individuals that keep perpetuating racial stereotypes. Okay, and one is in the form of the blackface, which gives Black people a constant reminder of the racial abuse that our ancestors or our forefathers and foremothers have gone through in the past, and not so long ago. All right, not so long ago. We're talking about the civil rights activism in the 60s. Okay, and that's only going back 50 years ago, right? So basically only a generation ago. Okay, our parents' generation. And my mom was born in 1964. So I mean, this is really it's really troubling to see something of that sort come up, okay, in 2019 about Justin Trudeau. Okay, Justin Trudeau that everyone seemed to love so much. Okay, I myself, I respected Justin Trudeau, but you know, my respect for Justin Trudeau is in question at the moment. But I believe racists, okay, people that hold racial stereotypes and sentiments about Black people, okay, I believe they can have a change of heart. All right. So how am I doing? How am I doing? Hope the sound is good. Let's see. Oh my goodness, that shit is good. Okay, okay. It is so good. All right. But I believe racists, okay, people that. All right. So I think I'm doing all right. Okay, the sound is good. Sound is good. Okay. So without much ado, okay, I do not have much interaction in the chat, so I am going to jump straight into the articles, okay, and talk about this. Okay, so news broke, okay, yesterday and today about Justin Trudeau wearing blackface, and something that Black people, you know, cringe so much when they see it on white people. Okay, and you know, just gives us a reminder of the racial abuse that we suffered in the past, and which is still continuing till present date. Okay, seeing someone of prominence, okay, like Justin Trudeau, who is a world-renowned figure, okay, promoting his liberal idealism and climate change and support for the world, is being put to the front page of being racist, being accused of being racist. Okay, painting his face black. One of the crimes you can ever commit against Black people is to paint your face black. Okay, making mockery of our ancestors and stuff like that. Okay, you can't be forgiven. But someone like Justin Trudeau. Okay, apparently he did that when he was 29 years old. I think at 29 years old, you should really know better. Okay, 29 years old, you are really matured. You should know better. So imagine people like that having children and impacting their children with, these kind of sentiments. Okay, racism is going to be perpetuated. So I am very disappointed in Justin Trudeau, even though I hold him at high esteem, but he needs to really apologize for this. Okay, so news broke, okay, today, yesterday, that this is what Justin Trudeau did, and I am going to share some news articles with you, and then we're going to talk about views on racism, okay, in in the United States or in Americas, as a whole. Okay. Yeah, but before I present this, okay, I know Justin Trudeau to be a very moderate person, and secondly, uh, you know, uh, he is basically a lover of the people. Okay, he has good intentions for the people, people of the world and stuff like that. And even we saw news about him go viral during the G7 meeting, okay, recently, where there was an image that went viral about him and Donald Trump's wife, looking like they were about to, kiss. Everyone basically just loved this man, all right. But this is raising a lot of questions about even the most loved figures in the world. Okay, how racist are they? Okay. I know that Justin Trudeau is a champion for the climate change movement and stuff like that, but at the same time, he is empowering you know uh, fossil fuel production in Canada, and you know he is making moves to make pipelines or to increase oil production in Canada, making pipelines through indigenous Canadian reservations, okay, which he promised he wasn't going to do that. But as these people in government, okay, do these things, okay, with the blackface added on, you can actually question their motives. You can actually question what they are in there for, and you should know that they're not there for the people. Okay, they are not in there for the people, but they're in there to satisfy a select group of people. Okay, and this is what capitalism is, right? This is what capitalism is. So now that I've said what I needed to say, okay, I'm going to go into the articles that I have. Okay, so yeah, follow me on Instagram, all right, family. Let's see, and I'll open the after the article, I'll open the line, okay. If anyone wants to join me, okay, please feel free to join me. Okay, if you wanna come online with me, okay, feel free to join me. All right. Okay. Send me an email at chividrano@hotmail.com. Okay, I'll leave my email in the chat. Okay, so chividrano@hotmail.com. Okay, please email me if you wanna jump on with me. Okay, I'll send you the link and you can come on and we can talk about this. All right. So let's see. Let me share my screen. So this news article is from africannews.com. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, africannews.com. Okay. It is this morning, about 5 hours ago, and it's about Justin Trudeau, okay, apologizing. So I saw this, I'm like, why is Justin Trudeau apologizing? Okay, so this news story from africannews.com. Canadian Prime Minister apologizes for 2001 brownface makeup. Okay, so Canadian Prime Minister apologizes for appearing a brown-faced makeup in 2001. Justin Trudeau said, looking back, he should not have done that. Okay. In 2001, when I was a teacher in Vancouver, I attended an end-of-year gala where the theme was Arabian Nights, and I dressed up in an Aladdin costume and put makeup on. I shouldn't have done that. I should have known better, but I didn't, and I'm really sorry. Trudeau told journalists while on his election campaign jet in Halifax. Okay, So there's been the criticism that this is going to really affect his elections. Okay, but we know politicians have done worse. Okay, we know of an Australian politician who was sleeping with his secretary. I mean, these politicians are human beings as well. Okay, to err as human, but at the same time, okay, we shouldn't give them any excuses because these people represent us. Okay, these people represent us, and their voices are the loudest. Okay, their image are the biggest. So if they do not represent us in a proper light, or if they misrepresent us, we need to get rid of them, right? Right. So it's making a mockery of someone for what they live, and what their lived experiences are, or lived experiences are. I think he has to answer for it. Okay. But his critics are having none of it. Okay, so well, it's troubling. It's insulting. Anytime we hear examples of brownface or blackfacing, it's it's making a mockery of someone for what they live, what their lived experiences are. I think he has to answer for it. I think he has to answer the questions why he did that. Okay, Jagmeet Singh, NDP leader, said. Okay, so the irony here is Justin Trudeau was recently in India, and the hype about him doing an Indian dance and whatnot. Okay, it's been going viral through social media and stuff like that, and now it's been unearthed that Justin Trudeau was actually racist. Okay, he's only all these people, they are actually only apologizing because they got caught, right? They got caught. So again, there's another quote here. I think there are people who've made mistakes in this life, and you make decisions based on what they actually do, what they did, and on a case by case basis. I think I deeply regret. So Justin Trudeau said. Okay. So national elections in Canada are just 5 weeks away, and this old image could undermine his chances for re-election. Okay, so that was the end of that article. It's a short one from africannews.com. Okay, they make very light issue of it. Okay, now nobody seemed to be very troubled about it, troubled about it much, but because it's Justin Trudeau. But imagine Donald Trump wearing blackface. Okay, they're not going to take light to it at all. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, I do have another article. Okay, this one is from Australia. Okay, abcnews.com.au. All right, I'll share that as well. Okay, I'm gonna share this as well. Okay, so this is a new one. Okay, this is from ABC. Okay, abcnews.com.au. Okay. Justin Trudeau's brownface scandal deepens as third incident emerges. Okay. So this is a photo of Justin Trudeau. Okay. Apparently, this was a screenshot of a video. Okay. Justin Trudeau in blackface here, just randomly in the early 1990s. Okay. Okay, just randomly wearing blackface and throwing his arms about. Okay, so this is something that he loves to do. All right, this is something he loved to do. Okay, he's been doing it for decades. Okay, and he's only sorry now because he got caught. Okay, so let's see. So new video showing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau wearing brownface a third time has emerged as his campaign works to contain the growing scandal just 1 month out from an election. Okay. So here's key points The video shows Mr. Trudeau wearing a white shirt and brown face makeup. Liberal Party officials verified the video was genuine. The Canadian leader is believed to be in his teens or early 20s in the video. Okay. Mr. Trudeau apologized and begged Canadians to forgive him for a yearbook photo surfaced showing him in brownface makeup at a 2001 Arabian Nights themed costume party. Okay. Apparently he lied as well. Okay. When he asked him, was that the only time he's done it, he said, yep, but he's done it several times. And if you dig deeper, you will see he's done it continuously. Okay. He's done it more than 3 times. Okay. So the photo was taken while he was a teacher at West Point Grey Academy, a private school in British Columbia. After the image was published by Time magazine yesterday, the Canadian leader told reporters it was not the first time he had darkened his face, saying he once did it while performing in a talent show. Okay, so now there's 3 videos or 3 evidences against him now, or 3 instances where he wore blackface. Okay, so now a video published by Canadian television broadcaster Global News and verified by Mr. Trudeau's Liberal Party shows a 3rd incident where the leader wore brownface. Mr. Trudeau is shown in the video wearing a white shirt, okay, torn jeans and brownface makeup while raising his hands in the air and sticking out his tongue. Okay, so this is the video here. Okay, there's a video here.
Global News has uncovered a 3rd instance of racially charged images of Liberal leader Justin Trudeau. Let's bring in our Ottawa Bureau Chief, Mercedes Stevenson. She has broken the story. She joins us now from Vancouver with the exclusive details. Good morning.
Good morning. A video uncovered by Global News, which has been verified by the Liberal War Room as, in fact, containing images of Liberal leader Justin Trudeau in blackface makeup. The Liberals have declined to tell us exactly when and where this video was taken, but you can have a look. It's pretty grainy. We wanted to be very sure that this was, in fact, the Liberal leader before we made the video public. They did confirm to us last night that we are looking at Justin Trudeau in this video. You can see that he has blackface makeup on. It's covering his face, neck, his arms and hands, and you can see between the tears in his jeans there that he also appears to have the makeup down his legs as well. This, as you mentioned, is the 3rd image of him within about 12 hours that has come out, and initially broken by Time magazine. I can tell you that Global News obtained this video and has been trying to verify it for a couple of days. We approached the Liberal War Room with it last night after that news broke from Time magazine to ask if this was in fact him. Obviously such a stunning video that we wanted to be absolutely sure, but they do say, yes, this is Justin Trudeau in the video.
Okay, so enough of that. All right, we get the point. All right, I'll leave the article in the description box. You can check it out. All right, so that was Mr. Trudeau. Okay, his true identity has been revealed as a racist. Okay, so he only puts on a face. Okay, he's truly sorry now because he got caught. Okay, so at a press conference on Thursday afternoon, local time, Mr. Trudeau was reluctant to say how many times he had worn brownface. I am wary of being definitive about this because the researches that came out, I had not remembered, he told reporters. Okay, I mean, come on, you would remember things that you did when you were 20, when you were in your 20s. His line, okay, his line. The fact is, I didn't understand how hurtful this is to people who live with discrimination every single day. This is another lie, okay? They know, okay? They know and they purposefully do it, okay? And this is what, this is another face of racism, okay? It's evil, okay? They know what they're doing hurts people and they do it anyway. All right. Okay. So this has been personally a moment where I've had to reflect on the fact that wanting to do good and wanting to do better simply isn't good enough, and you need to take responsibility for mistakes that hurt people who thought I was an ally. Okay. So yeah, we all thought Justin Trudeau was an ally. Yeah, indeed, he is an ally, but he has a dark side. Okay. He has a dark side. All right. Just as everybody else has a dark side. Nobody's perfect, okay? But yeah. We know racism, okay, racism and discrimination and bigotry is taught, okay, it's taught to people when they're young. All right. So a Liberal Party spokeswoman said the new footage was from the early 1990s, which would suggest Mr. Trudeau was in his teens or early 20s when the video was shot. Global News reported it was not clear where the video was made. The furor could spell more trouble for Mr. Trudeau, who polls say is facing a serious challenge at the upcoming October 21 election from conservative leader Andrew Scheer. Scheer. So Mr. Scheer said his campaign team received the video of Mr. Trudeau from a concerned citizen and passed it on to the news outlet. So Mr. Trudeau is not fit to govern this country, Mr. Scheer said. However, Mr. Scheer stammered when asked if there was anything in his past that he regrets. I don't claim to be a saint. Okay, so he is a pot calling a kettle black. Okay, he said there is nothing that would rise to this level. Okay, so yeah, it's covering his ass here, but yeah, we know if they dig deep into him, okay, they're gonna find similar things. Okay, Mr. Trudeau champions diversity, okay, multiculturalism and immigration, and has been admired by liberals for his policies in the Trump era, with Canada accepting more refugees than the US. Okay, so this is an image of Mr. Trudeau, okay, during an Arabian Night theme celebration, whatever, and he wore this blackface, okay, with a turban. Okay, I mean, look at all these beautiful women. Or you don't need to paint your face black, but since it's something that he loved to do, okay, he wore the blackface. Okay, so Mr. Trudeau has apologized for wearing brown face makeup at an Arabian Night theme party in 2001. Okay, this government has also strongly advocated free trade and has legalized cannabis. Okay, but the 47-year-old son of the late Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau was already vulnerable following one of the biggest scandals in Canadian political history, which arose when Mr. Trudeau's former Attorney General said he improperly pressured her to halt the prosecution of a company in Quebec. Mr. Trudeau has said he was standing up for jobs, but the scandal rocked the government and led to resignations and a drop in ratings earlier this year. All right, so that's about it for that article. Okay. So how's it going? How's it going in the chat? Okay. Like this video if you come in. Okay, if you come in, like the stream. Okay, and invite your friends to come through. All right, so that's about it for that article. I do have another article. I think this is the original article that came out yesterday. Okay, September 19th. Okay, and today is the September 20th. Okay, so let's have a look at the past article that came out yesterday. Okay, so that was the first article that came out. So I'll share that. Let's share that. Okay. So all right, so here's another article from globalnews.com. Okay, the original article. So saying that article on the 29th. Okay, exclusive video shows Justin Trudeau. Okay, in blackface in third instance of racist makeup. Okay, I'll play a little bit of that video and.
And we have yet to hear from Justin Trudeau since Global News exclusively.
In your face, that's like a color that you're not is essentially racist. I don't think he's racist at all.
It is a little messed up. I think some people would find that offensive.
Just some of the reaction today as offensive photos emerge of the Prime Minister in brown and blackface. We have breaking news with a third photograph and all the impact this is going to have on the federal election. The Trudeau campaign is in damage control mode this hour, rocked by 3 separate occasions, photographs of the Prime Minister wearing brown or blackface. The Liberal leader has apologized, but his judgment and credibility among voters are in question today. Priya Sam is live in our newsroom. Priya, you've been speaking with so many voters. Tell us about some of the reaction you've received.
It has been so interesting, Farah, talking to people this morning. So I would say that everyone we spoke to was surprised by the video of Justin Trudeau in blackface and the photos of him in brownface. But the reaction to how this should impact the election was mixed. This is the third confirmed incident of Justin Trudeau in black or brownface makeup to surface in the last 24 hours. A Trudeau staffer confirming to Global News this is the Prime Minister, but would not say when or where the video was shot. The reaction to the video in downtown Toronto is mixed.
He was fairly young at that time, and it's something that doesn't bother me really.
It is very disrespectful to the black race, and the fact that people don't recognize that we're still being disrespected even after many years of slavery. That's really sad.
Trudeau apologized for the initial photo showing him with dark face makeup and a turban. He says it was taken in 2001 at an Arabian Night themed dinner held at a private school where he was a teacher at the time.
It was something that I didn't think was racist at the time, but now I recognize it was something racist to do, and I am deeply sorry.
Other party leaders reacting to these 3 incidents this morning on the campaign trail.
I believe that Canadians might have been able to accept his apology if he had been truthful and open, if he hadn't based that apology on a lie. But he was specifically asked if there were other instances where he engaged in this type of racist behavior, and he indicated that there was only 1 other incident, and now we know that there was at least 3.
What we're seeing now is an ongoing pattern of behavior that's really going to hurt Canadians. They're going to see the Prime Minister mocking the realities that so many Canadians live with. And it is not a joke.
Back on the streets of Toronto, voters are wondering how these photos remained hidden for so long and saying there's no excuse for Trudeau's actions.
I feel like what people need to realize is when dressing up in, say, cultural outfits, you don't necessarily have to put on the skin color as well. Like, you can dress up as Aladdin and people will still get the character without you painting your skin. I think that's like really messed up, because the blackface, regardless if you're like doing it as a black person or somebody of color, like, that's just wrong.
On the other side, some Torontonians say it was a sign of the times.
It is a little messed up, but like, you conform to whatever society was like, back then.
What is certain, though, is that the incidents are making headlines in Toronto, across the country, and now around the world. And we have yet to hear from Justin Trudeau since Global News exclusively obtained that video. We have heard a...
Okay. So that's enough of that video. Okay. So Justin Trudeau has apologized. Okay. He's been called to his, past. Okay. He's apologized. Okay. And I say he's only apologizing because he got caught, right? He's only apologizing because he got caught. Right. So that's the end of, this saga here, okay, and this legacy is gonna last, okay, forever. It's forever tainted. Justin Trudeau's legacy of being the darling figure of the world, okay. I was watching a documentary about him, and he was saying that he's like 1/16 Indonesian and whatnot, okay. It's only when people's racism is being called upon to, like, I'm not racist. I've got black friends. My sister's married to a black man, or my brother is married to a black woman. Okay, it's only when their racism is called, okay, that's when they start making these sorry remarks and comments. Okay, but do I wish that Justin Trudeau loses the loses the election? I'll say no. Okay, Justin Trudeau is doing a great job for the Canadian people, and I'll rather allow things, or I rather wish things go the same direction. But who knows? There could be somebody worse than Justin Trudeau. Okay, could be somebody worse than Justin Trudeau. They just haven't found them out yet. All right, but then everybody has a dark side. Okay, everybody has a dark side to them. Okay, the negative and positive live within every individual. Okay, and it's up to us to always make the positive light shine. Okay, and show in each and every one. Okay, peace to you, B1 for life. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I really appreciate you coming through. Like this video when you come in, please. Okay, how's it going? Okay, let me know your thoughts on this stream. If you'd like to come on, okay, send me an email and I will send you the link to jump on. All right, so let's see. So yeah, I am highly disappointed about Justin Trudeau's past behavior, but do I like him as a person? Of course I do. Okay, at least he presents himself as a positive image for the world. Okay, and we need to always remember people by the good deeds. Okay, if the good deeds amounts to more than the bad deeds in the past, okay, we should always remind or remember them of their good deeds. All right, so this is taking me to the next segment of my stream. Okay, I am going to show you the views on racism. Okay, even though we've progressed. Okay, since the 20th century, the racism of 20th century and the 19th century. Okay, and beyond. Okay, we've really progressed, and I can say that my country, Australia, okay, is a very progressive, country. Okay, and we do not take racial matters lightly at all. Okay, we are against racism. Okay, at least that gives me, a sense of belonging to this country. And as you can see, okay, you can see my Aboriginal flag up there. Okay, the soon to be the national flag of Australia. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, so B1 for life. I'm at work, just listening. Thanks. All right, thanks, family. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to present to you. The views. Okay, this is from Pew Research Center. This article came on the April 9th. Okay, April 9th, 2019, and I didn't see anybody do any review on this. Okay, so I have taken it upon myself to do this and bring this article to light during this saga of Justin Trudeau. Okay, our beloved Justin Trudeau, who is completely an antithesis to Trump's rhetorics and remarks and stuff like that. Right? So let's see. Okay. I am going to share this. Share screen. So all right, so Pew Research Center. Okay, this article is from Pew Research Center. Okay, dated on April 9th. Okay, 2019. Race in America, 2019. Okay, public has negative views of the country's racial progress. Okay, more than half say Trump has made race relations worse. Okay, and this is by Juliana Menashe Horowitz. Okay, I'm gonna blow this up a bit so I can read better. Okay, so this is an image of a beautiful sister here. Okay, more than 150 years ago, or more than 150 years after the 13th Amendment abolished slavery in the United States, approximately 1865. Okay, 1865. Most U.S. adults say the legacy of slavery continues to have an impact on the position of Black people in American society today. More than 4 in 10 say the country hasn't made enough progress toward racial inequality, and there is some skepticism, particularly among Blacks, that Black people will never have equal rights with whites, according to a new Pew Research Center survey. Okay, so here's a survey. Okay, most Black adults have negative views about the country's racial progress. So all adults, okay, have 58% say that race relations in the US are generally bad. Okay, so Blacks say that Blacks, 71% of Blacks say race relations is generally bad. Whites say 56%. So majority say race relations in the US in 2019 is very bad. So here's another poll. Trump has made race relations worse. Okay, so whites agree, 49% of whites agree that Trump has made race relations worse. Okay, so this is nearly half of it. Okay, and Blacks say 73% of Blacks say that Trump has made race relations worse. So on average, it's 56%. So again, the legacy of slavery affects the position of Black people in American society today a great deal, or a fair amount. And white people agree, yes, that's true. And 84% of Black say that's true. So 58% of white, 84% of Blacks. So overall, 63%. Okay, 63% of Americans agree that the legacy of slavery affects the position of Black people in American society today. Okay, so here's another questionnaire. Our country hasn't gone far enough in giving Blacks equal rights with whites. So whites disagree. Okay, majority of whites disagree, but 37% of whites agree. Okay, and Black. Okay, 78% of Blacks agree. So there's a discrepancy here. The majority of whites disagree. Okay, so majority of whites disagree. 63% of whites disagree that Blacks don't have equal opportunity, which I disagree as well. Okay, I disagree because you know, considering the opportunities that were available to Black people even in the 60s, you know, even in the 60s and whatnot. Okay. It's very, very minimal. Okay, it's very, very minimal compared to what we have now as opportunities for Black people. Okay, so that aside with the whites, okay, and majority of Black people say you know, there aren't enough opportunities for Black, and that's not true. That's not true. So this is a low score here, 45%. Okay, and I agree with this poll. So not too or not at all likely that Black people will eventually have equal rights. Okay, white people disagree, and 50-50 on Blacks. Okay, so Black people agree that Blacks will never have equal rights with whites. So majority of Blacks. Okay, so now we're looking at the Black people's perspective. Okay, so Black people in the US agree that 50% of Blacks in the US agree that Blacks will never have equal rights with white people. Okay, and when the tally of the poll, they are on average 16%. So that is majority of people believe that's not right, or that's not true. Okay, so note, whites and Blacks include those who report being only one race and are non-Hispanic. So survey of US adults conducted January 22nd to February 5th, 2019. So Race in America 2019. All right, so I'll go back to my article. So opinions about the current state of race relations and President Donald Trump's handling of the issue are also negative. Okay, about 6 in 10 Americans, 58% say race relations in the U.S. are bad, and of those, few see them improving. Some, about 56%, think the president has made race relations worse. Okay, just 15% say he has improved race relations, and another 13% say he has tried but failed to make progress on this issue. In addition, roughly 2/3 say it's become more common for people to express racist views since Trump became president. Okay, so if you were here with me from the start, okay, Justin Trudeau has apologized for his racism, okay, in the past. But do you think Donald Trump apologizes for anything? Donald Trump has never apologized for anything he's done. Okay, one of the most profound one that stuck out for me was the issue around the Central Park 5 documentary, where Donald Trump spent money, okay, to try and bring back the death penalty just because these teenagers were black, okay, and he was calling for the death penalty on these black teenagers. And now that it's been unearthed that these teenagers were actually innocent, okay, they called Donald Trump on that, okay, and he refuses to apologize for it. So there's a big difference between these two individuals here, and one is a unapologetically racist, and one is repentant. Okay, so blacks are particularly gloomy about the country's racial progress. Okay, more than 8 in 10 black adults say the legacy of slavery affects the position of black people in America today, including 59% who say it affects it a great deal. About 8 in 10 blacks, 78% say the country hasn't gone far enough when it comes to giving black people equal rights with whites, and fully have say it's unlikely that the country will eventually achieve racial equality. I am very, very interested in looking at the events in South America, in Mexico. I want to know what actually happened in Brazil, how blacks foresee race relations, especially in Brazil, where it has a majority black population. And we know in South Africa, with a 90% population of blacks, okay, there's still racial discrimination, where only a select group of people, only 8% of them, control 90% of the wealth of the country. Okay, and this is the definition of racism. Okay, is an institution, okay, that involves the acquisition of wealth and the distribution of it to benefit a select group of people at the expense of other people, okay, majority of the people, to deprive them. So i.e. these resources come in as in, loan, housing, jobs, food, economics and whatnot. Okay, so education, healthcare, okay, all these things tie in with resources, right? So if you have a group of people that control this, okay, to deprive another group of people, okay, that is racism, right? And different arms of racism can branch into like bigotry and hatred and stuff like that for people just because of skin color. Okay, that per se is not really racism, but it's also an effect of racism. Okay, psychological effect of racism, I would say. So Americans see disadvantages for blacks and Hispanics in the US. A majority of all adults, 56%, say being black hurts people's ability to get ahead at least a little. And 51% say the same about being Hispanic. In contrast, 59% say being white helps people's ability to get ahead. Views about the impact of being Asian or Native American are more mixed. So here's another poll standing here. Non-whites are more likely to see advantages in being white. So percentages of people saying that when it comes to a person's ability to get ahead in our country these days, being white. Okay, being white. Okay, so here is the poll. Okay, so hurts a lot or a little, all adults. Okay, so so being white. Okay, so 12. Okay, say 59% helps a lot. Okay, hurts a lot or a little. Okay, so whites say 14. Okay, black 7, Hispanic 7, Asians 10. Okay, another helps, not hurts. Okay, so 28, 30, all adults 28, white 30, black 23, Hispanic 30, and Asian 17. So these are the overall sentiments. So 59% of people think being white helps a lot. Okay, so white says 56% of white say being white helps them a lot. Okay, or a little bit. Black say 69% being white. Okay, helps a lot. Hispanic say being 61, so helps a lot. Asian 73%. Whoa! So this is also the effect of racism, where a lot of Asians actually wish they were white, and it's really sickening. Okay, you would think that blacks wish they were white, but Asians wish they were white the most. I mean, I've noticed it here, like when I was dating and stuff like that. An Asian girl would readily run to a white guy just because he's white. Doesn't matter what his looks. Okay, an Asian girl will run to a white guy first before any black guy. So I mean, most Asians wish they were white, and it's really sad. Especially here in Australia, you will see that evidently. Okay, you see how an Asian girl is so all over her white boyfriend. You rarely see an Asian man with a white girl. Okay, rarely, but you see mostly a white man with an Asian girl, and she's all over this white guy. Okay, and this is self-hate. All right. So Asians were interviewed in English only. Note: share of respondents who didn't offer an answer not shown. Whites, blacks, and Asians include those who report being only one race and are non-Hispanic. Hispanics are of any race. Okay. And Hispanic is not a race. Okay, Hispanic is a culture. Okay, cultural group of people. Okay, or people that speak Spanish of many diversities. Okay. So source survey of US adults conducted January 22nd to February 5th, 2019. Race in America 2019. Okay, Pew Research. All right, so I'll go in here. Okay. Americans see disadvantages for blacks and Hispanics in US. Majority of all adults, 56%, say being black hurts people's ability to get ahead at least a little, and 51% say the same about being Hispanic. In contrast, 59% say being white helps people's ability to get ahead. Views about the impact of being Asian or Native American are more mixed. So I read that before. So blacks, Hispanics, and Asians are more likely than white to say being white helps people's ability to get ahead at least a little. Okay, so among whites, those who are more educated, as well as those who identify with or lean toward the Democratic Party, are particularly likely to see advantages to being white. Okay, so these are all effects of racism. Okay, when people do not have confidence in their own skin and wish that they were other people. Like, I love my skin, I love my dark skin, especially here in Australia. You gotta love your dark skin, okay? Because summer is coming, it's gonna be really hot, and you wish you were black, right? You wish you were black. It's really an eyesore, okay? The number one people you see walking down the street in summer with an umbrella is Asian women. Asian women, it's so sad. They don't want to be black at all. They don't want to be dark at all. They want to be very white. These are Asian women, okay? And it's disgusting, right? It's number one, it's funny, and two, it is disgusting, All right, to see people hate themselves so much. Okay, I traveled through Thailand. Beautiful dark-skinned people, beautiful, and I could see their faces were lighter compared to their skin. Like Northern Thai people are very dark and they're very beautiful, and I saw them. A lot of them were as dark as I am. Okay, excuse me. And I took a photo with some of these people with a flash on. And I realized that after looking at the photos, I realized that these people look very pale in their face, and then the skin is really the arms and stuff, or the neck region is very black. I'm just like, are these people bleaching their skin? So this was going back in, I think, 2014, where I wasn't, considering so many things. But looking back at these photos, I could see the self-hate in these people. They all want to be white so bad, right? So a lot of them tie in advantages of being lighter skin to getting ahead in life, and this is very sad. All right, so this is the effect of racism. Right, so the nationally representative survey of 6,637 adults was conducted online January 22nd to February 5th, 2019 in English and Spanish using Pew Research Center's American Trends panel. In addition to exploring the public's views about state of race relations and racial inequality in America, the survey also looks at personal experiences with racial and ethnic discrimination and the role race plays in people's lives. Among the report's key findings, okay, so most Americans say it's now more common for people to express racist or racial insensitive views. More than 4 in 10 say it's more acceptable. Okay, so that's not right. If you think it's commonplace for you to express your racial insensitive views, okay, that is not a good environment. Okay, especially for Black people, that is not a good environment for our family out there. All right. So most Americans. So here's another pie chart here. I'll look at it later. So most Americans, 65%, including the majorities across racial and ethnic groups, say it has become more commonplace for people to express racist or racially insensitive views since Trump was elected president. Smaller but substantial share, 45%, say this has become more acceptable. So if you subscribe to Philip Scott, now on the African Diaspora channel, he kept on saying that Donald Trump has come out to embolden these racist people. So this is not too far from the truth here. So here's the the statistics here. So most say it's now more common for people to express racist or racially insensitive views. Okay. So percentage of people saying since Trump was elected, it has become commonplace for people to express racist or racially insensitive views. So about as common, okay, 29%, okay, less common, 5%, more common, 65%. Okay, 65%. And it's people are very comfortable, okay, expressing their racial views. So this is really, really disturbing. Okay, it has become commonplace for people to express racist or racially insensitive views. Okay, about let's say it has become acceptable. Okay, acceptable. 31% people say it's acceptable. Nobody, 1%, no answer. Less acceptable, 23%. More acceptable, 45%. So 45% is still a very, very big margin. Okay, still a very big margin. About if you add about acceptable to more acceptable to that, okay, you're looking at 76%, which is majority of people think it is acceptable for people to express their racial views and their sentiments, right? So this is very sad, okay, and it's tragic. So Democrats and those who lean Democratic are more likely than Republicans and Republican leaners to say it has become more common and more acceptable for people to express racist and racially insensitive views since Trump was elected president. Among Democrats, 84% say this is now more common, and 64% say it's more acceptable. Fewer than half of Republicans say it has become more common. Okay, so 42%, and just 22% say it has become more acceptable for people to express these types of views. And it's sad, okay, it's not acceptable ever. So views of Trump's handling of race relations are far more negative than views of how Obama handled the issues. I don't think so. Okay. I do not think so. Okay. Obama was actually building a bridge and, bridging the gap between the, racial divide. Okay. And Trump is rather building, dividing the gap. Okay. Creating more rift. Right. Trump is basically making it okay to be racist, i.e., he himself being racist, okay, being the epitome of racist, being racist, okay. Right. So I do understand now that someone made him a comment in my last stream saying that Trump is a backlash for Obama, and that is really true. I thought Trump was a backlash actually for people that voted for him, right? Because he's gone his own way so much that they want to impeach him. People that voted for Trump now want to impeach Trump. But overall, okay, Obama did a great thing, okay, but Trump had come and reversed everything Obama has done, and basically is indeed a backlash for the progress in the United States made by Barack Obama. So yeah, I can go on a whole tirade about Trump's incapacity and stuff like that, but this is not about it. This topic is not about it. Okay, so majority of Americans, 56%, say Trump has made race relations worse. Just 15% say he has made progress toward improving race relations, while 13% say he has tried but failed to make progress, and 14% say he hasn't addressed this issue at all. Excuse me, hiccups. In contrast, 37% say Barack Obama made progress on race relations when he was president, and 27% say he tried but failed. A quarter of Americans say Obama made race relations worse. So I do not understand that. So these retrospective views of Obama's handling of race relations are nearly identical to views expressed during Obama's last year in office. Okay. So here's a poll here. Okay, majority of US adults say Trump has made race relations worse. Okay, so made progress toward improving. Okay, Donald Trump 15%. Okay, Barack Obama 37%. So basically, Donald Trump has done only 15% trying to improve race relations, and Obama actually did 37%. Donald Trump has made 56%. Think Donald Trump has made race relations worse. Okay, only 25% of people think Barack Obama made race relations worse, and tried but failed to make race relations progress. Okay, tried but failed to make progress. Okay, so 13% said that Donald Trump had tried. I don't think he's tried at all. If you actually listen to Donald Trump, I don't think he's made race relations. He hasn't made any progress in race relations. Okay, Trump is an idiot, complete idiot, and a racist. Okay, at best. Okay, Barack Obama has actually tried. 27% has tried to make progress but failed. Okay, and 14% didn't address it. Okay, so basically, when you approach a Trump supporter, he basically walks away. Okay, or she walks away, and 8% of people that maybe basically have hold sentiments about Obama, only 8% did not comment. Elm City, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate you coming through, sister. How are you doing? Okay, how are you doing? Let us know. Right. What time is it over there on the West Coast? I think it's not very late, is it? Maybe towards your evening, I suppose. Right? Dinner time? Right. What's for dinner? Right, okay. So coming back to the article, so not surprisingly, assessments of Trump's and Obama's handling of race relations differ considerably along partisan lines. Democrats overwhelmingly say Trump has made race relations worse. So 84% of Democrats think Trump's a racist, okay, including large shares of black. Okay, so 79% of blacks think Trump's a racist, okay. I mean, this is evident now that Trump is racist, okay? Even looking at his comments about the Hurricane Dorian survivors, okay, where he was making comments of basically rejecting Hurricane Dorian survivors because they're black and calling them gang members and racists and drug dealers, calling them bad people. I mean, if a president has no words of, empowerment, words of comfort for these people who have lost everything, and Americans should be very, very thankful for the Bahamas being there, halting this monster of a hurricane. It would totally decimate Florida if it had gone past the Bahamas. Okay, so the Bahamas actually took the bullet for Americans, and instead of the president of the United States embracing these people and welcoming them home, okay, giving them home, food and shelter, okay, he's calling them bad people, drug dealers, and creating fear for these kind of people and xenophobia, okay, evidently. So Trump is xenophobic, he's a racist, he's a bigot, and he's all the bad things that you can vile things that you can see in a human being. Okay, that's Donald Trump for you. So it's 8 p.m. All right, okay, it's 8 p.m. Elm City. I'm glad you're good. I'm doing well. Okay, I'm doing well. I'm doing great. It's almost summer. Okay, we love summer here in Australia. Today is going to be 24 degrees. It's cloudy. It's going to be stormy. It's been really windy. Tomorrow is going to be 16 degrees, so it's going to be cold again tomorrow, but slowly summer is coming, so we welcome it. Okay, yeah, so about a third of Republicans, 34%, say Trump has improved race relations, and 20, so these Republicans obviously listening to Fox FM, okay, Fox News, okay. All right, which always supports Trump, but Trump is saying that Fox is no longer doing work for him. So yeah, as if Fox is there to his propaganda tool or mechanism. So about a third of Republicans, 34%, say Trump has improved race relations, and 25% say he has tried but failed to make progress. 19% of Republicans say he hasn't addressed the issue. Okay. While 20% say he has made race relations worse. Okay. When it comes to views with Obama's handling of race relations, 55% of Democrats say he improved race relations during his presidency. So majority of Democrats say he improved it. Just 8% say he made things worse. So this is insignificant, negligible, right? In contrast, 51% of Republicans say Obama made race relations worse. So yeah, that's a backlash, okay? While 14% say he made progress toward improving it. So yeah. As is the case with views of Trump's handling of race relations, white and black Democrats offer somewhat similar assessment of how Obama handled this issue when he was president. Let's see how much more of this article is left. Jesus, a whole lot. Okay, that's a lot. So I'll try and tackle this in 30 minutes. Okay. Now, where am I? Where am I now? Okay. So, as in the case with views of Trump's handling race relations, white and black Democrats offer somewhat similar assessments of how Obama handled this issue when he was president. Okay, so Republicans and Democrats have vastly different views on race. Okay, I'll leave the article. Maybe I should skip this thing here because the breakdown is already in the text. So yeah, just for you to visualize the thing here. So I'll try and go a bit faster because there's more to read. I've only done nearly half of it, so there's more to read. So Republicans and Democrats have vastly different views on race. Okay, so white Republicans, white Democrats differed widely in their views of the country's racial progress. So among whites, percentage of Republicans and Democrats saying that Trump has made race relations worse than Obama and whatnot. Okay, or what Obama has done to improve race relations. Okay. So not gone far enough. Okay, so Republican Party 15%, Democrats say 64%, and so on. So you can look at the figures here. Okay, the figures here don't say the figures here are alarming. Okay, are alarming. So yeah. In addition to being linked to views of Trump's handling of race relations, partisanship is strongly associated with racial attitudes more broadly. In fact, after controlling for other factors, partisanship has a greater association with views about the country's racial progress than demographic factors, though being young and more educated are also significant predictors, particularly among whites. Okay, because whites and non-whites often have widely different views of racial issues, and non-whites disproportionately identify with or lean to the Democratic Party. Gaps between Republicans and Democrats are often shown among whites in this report in order to account for differences in racial compositions of the two parties. So yeah, there's seen discrimination where it does not exist. So Republicans leaning Republican. Okay, 77% see racism where it does not exist. Okay, so basically this is only a sentiment. Democrats 22%. So not seeing discrimination. Not seeing discrimination where it really does exist. Okay, 27% of Republicans refuse to see there's racism. Okay, and 78% see racism where it exists. Okay, right. White Democrats 64% are far more likely than white Republicans. 15% say that the country hasn't gone far enough when it comes to giving black people equal rights with whites. About half of Republicans say it's been about right. Okay, while a sizable minority, 31%, says the country has gone too far in this regard. So 8 in 10 white Democrats versus 40% of white Republicans say the legacy of slavery continues to have an impact on Black people's position in American society today. And when it comes to views about racial discrimination, 78% of white Democrats say the bigger problem is people not seeing it where it really does exist. Okay. So if you saw it from here, okay, you know, Republicans, 77% of people refuse to see racism where it actually exists. Okay. So yeah. Now where was I? Eight in 10 white Democrats, 40% of Republicans say legacy of slavery continues to have an impact on Black people's position in American society today. And when it comes to the views about racial discrimination, 78% of Democrats say the bigger problem is people not seeing where it really does exist, while a similar share of white Republicans say people seeing racial discrimination where it really does not exist is the bigger problem. So painting the picture that racism does not exist is actually a problem. Okay. And I say the problem is too many problems. Right. So Blacks are more likely than other groups to say their race has had a negative impact on their ability to get ahead. Whites are most likely to say their race helped them. So yeah, they know racism helps them. Okay. The average white person understands that racism helps them. All right. So it's very difficult. If you have a system that benefits you, it's very difficult to speak up against it. Very, very difficult. It takes special, unique individuals to speak against something that benefits you. Because in doing so, you're going to lose your privileges, right? And this makes racism very, very difficult subject to eradicate, right? So about half of Black adults, 52%, saying being Black has hurt the ability to get ahead at least a little, with 18% say it has hurt a lot. About a quarter of Hispanics and Asians, 24% each, and just 5% of whites say their race or ethnicity has had a negative impact. In turn, whites are more likely than other groups to say their racial background has helped them at least a little. So here's the statistics here. Okay, so about half of Blacks say being Black has hurt the ability to get ahead. Okay, so there's the survey here. So hurt a lot. Okay, whites say 5%, Blacks say 52%, Hispanic 24%, Asian 24%. Helped a little. Okay, 45% white, Black 17%, Hispanic 30%, Asian 37%. Okay, so when you look at it, okay, Blacks have a bad sentiment about being Black, right? Being Black, every Black person, majority of Black people in the United States, 83%, which is very sad, think being Black is negative or has a negative benefits to them. Okay, so neither helped nor hurt. Okay, so 50% of whites are indifferent. Okay, right, so on and so forth. Okay, among blacks, those with at least some college experience are more likely than those with less education to say being Black has hurt the ability to get ahead. Okay, education is also linked with whites' perceptions of the impact their race has had on their ability to get ahead. So it depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to a very educated person, you get a very educated answer. If you're talking to a non-educated or very little educated person, you basically you're gonna get a different answer. So small shares of whites across educational levels say their racial background has hurt the ability to succeed. But those with a bachelor's degree are more likely than those with less education to say being white helped them at least a little. So I've heard some African Americans say that a beat down white kid in working in a Walmart thinks he is better off than a black, maybe say a black engineer, just because he's white. I mean, that is very sad. Okay, that's a very sad scenario, right? If you think your importance is based on your skin color, okay, that is very sad and ignorant. So across all racial and ethnic groups, more point to their own hard work than to any other attributes, including their race, their gender, the people they know, or their families' financial situations, as something that helped them get ahead. So someone like me, okay, me getting ahead, okay, has nothing to do with my skin color, okay, has nothing to do with whatever, okay. It's just my own hard work, okay, and my zest, okay, and my quest to succeed, okay, my desire to make it big in life, okay, that has made me achieve everything that I wanted to achieve in my education, in my occupation, and whatnot. Okay, I have worked since I started working. I can count nearly 100, places that I've worked at. Okay, and each time I face setbacks, and and I just move on, find somewhere new, find something new. I take my opportunities as they come. Okay, I'm not stagnated and complaining all the time of not getting ahead. Okay, so my hard work and personal attributes, play the biggest factor when it comes to getting ahead in life. Okay. So blacks, whites differ in assessment of why it may be harder for black people to get ahead. Okay. So we'll look at that now. Whether or not they see their race as an obstacle for them personally, about 2/3 of blacks, 68%, say being black generally hurt a person's ability to get ahead in a country. So 58%, 55% of whites say the same. In a country like the United States, okay, where racism is institutionalized, okay, racism is placed in an institution, okay, institutionalized racism, okay, this is self-evident, okay, that being black, okay, puts you in so many disadvantages, but with hard work, okay, you can overcome this. With hard work, you can overcome. There are so many obstacles being black in the United States, but you can overcome. Okay, this is where your personal attribute of being hardworking and being resilient, being consistent, okay, never giving up, okay, would eventually, make you succeed. So when you sit in your seat of success, you realize that it has nothing to do with my skin. Okay, what doesn't kill you makes you only stronger. Okay, so a successful black person should be held in high regard for his hard work, right? So blacks are far more likely than whites to say discrimination is a major obstacle for black people. So among those who say being black hurts people's ability to get ahead, percentage of whites and blacks saying each is a major reason why black people in our country may have a harder time getting ahead than white people. So racial discrimination, okay, so white 54% agree, okay, black 84% of blacks agree that racial discrimination makes it hard for them to get ahead, okay. So if 54% of whites agree, okay, so that's an acknowledgement from the white population that being black, okay, so they know what they're doing, they know, okay, and this is what racism is, okay, it's a system of oppression, okay, which is put in place to acquire wealth and resources and distribution of it, okay, to benefit a select few and to deprive a majority of the people. So this is what racism is, right? And racism is propagated through seat of power, okay, politicians and politicians who make policies in the distribution of wealth and resources. Okay, so you see racism coming from the top, okay, racism coming from the top, and this is when it's red herring, okay, seeing that Justin Trudeau is fond of, making blackface. Okay, when Justin Trudeau is the leader of Canada, right? So it's it's really, really concerning. So less access to good schools. Okay, 60% of whites agree. Okay, 72% of blacks agree. Family instability. Okay, 50% of whites basically believe that being black leads to family instability, and blacks actually believe that being black leads to 42% of blacks believe that you have family instability just because you're black. Okay, and this is really deep. This alone is really deep in the breakdown of the black family from the 60s, where the black man was removed from the home. But then also it comes down to individual, interest in having a family unit. So you see a lot of black people are, what's the word I'm looking for? Randomly having kids, for lack of better words, randomly having kids with so many women. And you see black women having so many baby daddies. Okay. This, I will not put it on racism. Okay. Has to do with someone's own personal attribute. Okay. Of being who they are personally. Right. So lack of good role models, 45% of whites agree. 31% of blacks agree. So majority of blacks disagree to that, and majority of whites disagree. So because there's plenty of good role models around, i.e. Barack Obama is the greatest role model for any black family. Okay, so yeah, there you go. And for the world as well. So yeah, lack of motivation to work hard. So they obviously only 22% on both sides agree there's lack of motivation. So majority of people, 78% on both ends, okay, believe that there's enough motivation for people to work hard. All right. Okay. So moving on. Okay. Among those who say being black hurts a person's ability to get ahead, blacks are more likely than whites to point to racial discrimination, less access to high-paying jobs, and less access to good schools as major reasons why this is the case. In turn, whites are more likely than blacks to point to family instability and lack of good role models as a major obstacle for black people. Okay, the same shares in both groups. 22% say a lack of motivation to work hard is to blame. Okay, so so yeah, that's what it says. Okay, there are a wide partisan gaps in these views. Okay, so most white Democrats say who say being black hurts a person's ability to succeed point to racial discrimination. 70%, okay, of Democrats who say being black hurts person's ability to succeed. Okay, and less access to good schools. 75% also say that, or high-paying jobs. 64% as a major reason for this. So among black Democrats, the shares are 86%, 74%, and 78% respectively. So by comparison, about a third of or fewer white Republicans say these are major obstacles for blacks. So white Republicans are more likely than white Democrats to cite family instability, lack of good role models, and a lack of motivation to work hard. So moving on. So majorities of black and white adults say blacks are treated less fairly than whites in dealing with police and by the criminal justice system. So basically the criminal injustice system. So we all know this is true. Okay, so you can go down and see the statistics here. Okay. Black and white adults have widely different perceptions of how blacks are treated in America, but majorities of both groups say blacks are treated less fairly than whites by criminal justice system, 87% of blacks versus 61% of whites. And in dealing with the police, 84% versus 63 respectively. So a majority of Americans think that blacks are being treated unfairly when it comes to the criminal justice system or the criminal injustice system. All right. So yeah. So this is the poll here. I'm not going to go through it. So I'll leave the article in the description box. You can look for it yourself. Right. So about 6 in 10 blacks are more but fewer than half of whites say black. Take that again. About 6 in 10 blacks or more, but fewer than half of whites say blacks are treated less fairly than whites in hiring, pay, and promotions when applying for a loan or a mortgage, excuse me, in stores or restaurants, when voting elections, and when seeking medical treatment. So yeah, you can see the resources here. Okay, this is what racism is. So when you're looking for pay, okay, so this is occupation, work, okay, this is pay, promotions, acquisition of loan, treated in stores and restaurants, okay, voting, elections, okay, this is racism. Okay, so this is the forms that racism manifests in. Okay, and it's coming from the top. It's an institution. Okay, especially when it comes to voting, because voting is going to decide the distribution of resources. Okay, and the people in a position of power distribute resources. Okay, and it's based on racism, right? Based on racism. So the resources involves in financial, education, healthcare, so on, housing, accommodation, so on and so forth. Okay. Take that again. So I'll go on. In each of these realms, okay, whites tend to say blacks and whites are treated about equally. Very small shares say whites are treated less fairly than blacks. Okay. Across these different areas, there are gaps ranging from 39 to 53% points in how white Democrats and white Republicans see the treatment of blacks in the US. About half or more white Democrats say blacks are treated less fairly than whites in dealing with the police. So 88% versus 43% of white Republicans. Okay. By the criminal justice system, 6% and 39%. So in hiring, pay, and promotion, 72%, 21%. When applying for a mortgage, 64% to versus 17%. So basically, the Republicans are a lot in denial. Okay. So a lot of deniers and detractors in the Republican Party. They refusing to see racism where it exists. In stores and restaurants, 62% of Democrats versus 16% of Republicans. So when voting in elections, 60% versus 7%, when seeking medical treatment, 48% versus 9%. So yeah, there's a lot of denial happening here. So most Americans, including similar shares of whites and blacks, say it's never acceptable for white people or white person to use the N-word. So 7 in 10 US adults say they personally think it's never acceptable for a white person to use the N-word. 13% say this is rarely acceptable, and about 1 in 10 say it is always 3%. It is always 3%. Or sometimes 6% acceptable for white people to use the N-word. Roughly 7 in 10 whites and blacks say this is never acceptable. And I say this is never acceptable to use the N-word. You do not perpetuate a racial stereotype. Okay, you do not do that. Even under no circumstance must you perpetuate this. Okay, let it go. Okay, embrace the new. It's called evolution. Okay, move on. move into the future, okay, and tackle the issues that matters the most, okay, not name calling. So yeah, black and white adults have similar views on the use of N-words, okay. So I'll leave the statistics there. So percentage saying personally think using the N-word is acceptable. A white person using the N-word is acceptable. Never. So black adults, 70% of all adults think it's never acceptable. So we stand with that. Okay. White say it's never acceptable. 92% of white think it's not acceptable. 71% of black say it's not acceptable. 58% of Hispanic, because you know, yeah, because this Hispanic always call black people Negroes or Negro, you know, so they a little bit confused. Okay, but in the United States, okay, that term, okay, the N-word is a racial slur. Okay, a lot of Hispanics do not understand that concept yet. So a black person using the N-word, okay, so 38% of people think it's never acceptable. 40% of whites think it's not acceptable. 38% of blacks say it's not acceptable, so or never acceptable. So 40 and 38, it's only a small margin. So yeah, let's see here. But yeah, majority of black people think it's acceptable to use the N-word. But I differ. Okay, I differ. I never like to use the N-word much. Okay, I'm trying to refrain from it, and so should you, or anyone should refrain from it. Comedy Lake Channel, thanks for joining the stream. B1, let's have a look at the comments here. B1 for live. Sometime to get a job is even harder because some businesses hired by name, and if your name sounds like a black name, you're not being hired. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it is there. Okay, it is there. It's seen in its statistics. I think 76% say being black hurts you getting a job. But you know, here in Australia, I don't think your name matters. Okay, because there are a lot of people with African names and whatever names, and they get, you know, really good jobs. You know, my uncle was actually one of the big bosses in Holden when Holden had its own manufacturing plant here in Australia before it's been moved offshore. He was one of the managers in the design sector of the car manufacturing company called Holden. Okay, and you would know that Holden cars are shipped to the United States as Chevy. Okay, Chevy. So yeah, my uncle held a very high position in that company for a very long time as well. So, and he doesn't have he has a Ghanaian African name. So there you go. But yeah, names actually do create disadvantages for you, especially when you have names like Quinell and LaQuisha and stuff like that. You know, it's not a professional name to some people, to some extent. Okay, so your name does play a part. Okay, and also it doesn't help that despite the names, it doesn't help that on your application form you need to put your race as African American. It doesn't really help. Okay, in Australia, if you apply for a job, your race doesn't really matter because there's no mention of race or sexual orientation or whatever. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. So in the US, as opposed to Australia, okay, racism is institutionalized. Okay. So Comedy Lake, thanks for joining the stream, family. I appreciate you coming through. You love Trudeau, yeah. Everybody loves Trudeau, but it's shocking. Okay, it's shocking now. He's wearing blackface, and I can't wait to see your joke about Trudeau's blackface. Okay, Comedy Lake channel, brother. this is what I see. Okay, he offended blacks, but blacks ain't mad. Okay, yeah, exactly. So a lot of people are not very upset about it, but we should be very upset about it. Okay, but Trudeau has presented himself as a very, responsible person and very big person, at least in his mature age, at 47. Okay, having a face that is loved by so many people, and he's a global sensation. So it's very hard to hate somebody like that. Okay, but what actually has lessened Trudeau's backlash, okay, is that he's come out to apologize. Okay, immediately, almost immediately, he's come out to apologize for his past sins. Okay, so he's forgiven. Okay, he's forgiven, but we should be wary of that because who knows what more skeletons are in his closet. So Comedy Lake channel, white villain comedians want to use it to chain him down and implement their evil act. Okay, so yeah, I agree with that. Okay, they want to use that to punish him. Okay, because it's almost election. Okay, in a month's time, there's going to be the Canadian elections, and they're going to move him out of office. And I think Justin Trudeau is one of the most progressive world leaders by far. Okay, better than Donald Trump, bar none, right? So it's also, it's very interesting that these things come up during election years. Okay, these scandals come up and trying to sway people's votes. Okay, and mind you, racism is dished out through policies by politicians. So if you have a racist in power, okay, that controls the movement and the distribution of resources. I mean, you're doomed. You're doomed, right? So yeah. What else do we have here? Comedy Lake channel again. Most black love him because they can see this as a party of white plan, or part of a white plan. He did make mistakes, but who doesn't? Okay. All right, so it's very clear here. Okay, we all seeing the racist agenda unfold. Okay, we seeing it. Okay. So now, where am I here? Okay, so almost done with this article. Okay, almost done. Okay, another 10 minutes and I'll be done. Okay. Most black adults say being black is extremely or very important to how they think about themselves. Okay. So blacks are more likely than Hispanics or Asians, and much more likely than whites to say that their race is central to their identity. So black pride. Okay. About 3/4 of black adults say being black is extremely, or that's 52%, or very, 22%, important to how they think of themselves. So that here is 74%. So 74% of blacks think that being black is important or is essential to their survivability, okay, or their existence. Okay. 59% of Hispanics and 56% of Asians say being Hispanic or Asian, respectively, is at least very important to their overall identity, with about 3 in 10 in each group saying it's extremely important. In contrast, just 15% of whites say being white is very extremely important to how they think of themselves. About 2/3 say it's either only a little important, 18%, or not important at all, say 47%. And so one thing I understand about European and African relationship is that Europeans came to meet people who were so proud of themselves. Okay, so black people, African people are very proud of their blackness. You see all in Egypt. Okay, they never wish to be anybody else. They just want to be black. Okay, Africans love themselves. They just want to be in their own element. Okay, stay in Africa and control their own shit and love themselves. Okay, but Europeans saw a problem to that, to the point where they they wanted to break that, cohesiveness. Okay, they wanted to break it, okay, and destroy it forever. Okay, that led to the dehumanizing and the destabilizing of the African continent and the raping of the African continent, just to destroy the Africanness of the African. And so we saw this, okay, how African Americans were dehumanized, okay, throughout the world. When something happens to Black people, people don't really care too much about it. But when something happens to one single white woman, everyone's like, oh, an angel is suffering, right? So yeah. Whites and Blacks younger than 30 are less likely than their older counterparts to say their race is at least very important to their overall identity. Some 64% of Black adults ages 18 to 29 say being Black is at least very important, compared with roughly three quarters or more among older age groups. And while relatively few whites across age groups say being white is central to how they think about themselves, whites younger than 30 are among the least likely to say so. Okay. So basically, whites younger than 30 just don't care. Okay. Which is a good sign. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Among Hispanics, okay, those born abroad are more likely than those born in the US to say being Hispanic is at least very important to how they think of themselves. Okay, so that's 65% versus 52%. So majorities of Blacks, Hispanics, and Asians say they have experienced discrimination because of their race or ethnicity. So about 3/4 of Blacks and Asians, so that's 76% of each, and 58% of Hispanics say they have experienced discrimination or have been treated unfairly because of their race or ethnicity, at least from time to time. In contrast, about 2/3 of whites, 67%, say they've never experienced this. So yeah. When asked about specific situations they may have experienced because of their race or ethnicity, Blacks are considerably more likely than whites, Hispanics, or Asians to say that people have acted as if they were suspicious of them. Okay. People have acted as if they thought they weren't smart. They thought they have been treated unfairly by an employer in hiring, pay, or promotion, or they have been unfairly stopped by police. Hispanics and Asians are more likely than white to say each of these have happened to them. Okay, so yeah. Asians are more likely than any other group to say they have been subject to slurs or jokes because of their race or ethnicity. Okay. In turn, more whites than Blacks, Hispanics, or Asians say people have assumed they were prejudiced or racist. 45% of whites have had this experience. So this is sort of like reverse racism here. Now the whites are crime victimhood now. Their prejudice is being placed upon them. But we all know everyone is judged by their actions. Okay. I would not assume a white person is up to no good walking around, but most whites would assume a Black person is up to no good by just a Black person walking around and being Black. So how many videos are we gonna see? How many videos are we gonna see? Swimming whilst Black, driving whilst Black, eating whilst Black, smoking whilst Black, waiting for the bus whilst Black, jogging whilst Black. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of prejudice against Black people. So this is the statistics here. Okay, I'll leave the article in the description box. You can check it out yourself. Okay. So for Hispanics, skin color is associated with experiences with discrimination. Okay. Okay. So we all know that amongst the Hispanic community itself, okay, and Hispanic is not a race of people. Okay, it's it's basically it's a cultural group or an ethnic group of people who are of various diversities. Okay, so a mix of African, Spanish, and Northern European ancestry, people of that sort of ancestry. Okay, and Native American ancestry. So it's a multitude of mixed people of mixed heritage. Okay, that is Hispanic. That they speak, Spanish as a language. Okay. So the survey asked Black and Hispanic respondents to identify the skin tone that best resembles their own using a modified version of Marcy-Martin scale. Okay, I wonder what that scale is. I've never seen it before. A multivariate analysis suggests that Hispanics with darker skin tones are more likely than those with lighter skin to say they have ever experienced discrimination or being treated unfairly because of their race or ethnicity. Darker skin color is also associated with a higher likelihood among Hispanics of saying that because of their race or ethnicity, people have acted as if they were suspicious of them. People have acted as if they thought they weren't smart. They thought they had been treated unfairly in employment situations. They have been subject to racial slurs or jokes, and that they have feared for their safety. And we know that in in South America and stuff like that, there's huge disparity between Black and lighter shades in South America or in the Caribbean. And prime example is Argentina, where the former Argentinian president stated that Argentina has no Blacks. When systematically they've eradicated the Black population in Argentina. Okay, and we see there's a lot of police brutality amongst directed towards Black people or people darker skin in Brazil. We saw from the Brazilian star Neymar the Brazilian soccer star. Okay, was he playing soccer? People were throwing bananas at him and stuff like that. Okay, and this is very sad. Okay, and another prime example is Haiti and Dominican Republic. Okay, a country or a people, two countries on one island. Okay, but divided by borders, and you can see one country being of a lighter skin and the other being very African, okay, or very dark. But these people have the same ancestry coming out of West Africa. But just because one group is more lighter, one group embraces more the European side, okay, they deprive the other of it. Okay, and that's very sad, sad scenario of racism happening in the island of Hispaniola, or what was the name of the island? Dominican, or I forgot the name of the island now. San Domingo. Okay, I think that's the island, the name of the island, or Saint-Domingue. Okay, that's in French. Okay, so this is coming down to the conclusion of the article. Okay, among Blacks, okay, those with darker skin tones are more likely to say that they have experienced racial discrimination generally. The skin color is not necessarily associated with having faced specific situations because of their race or ethnicity. In fact, for Blacks, being male and having higher levels of education are more consistently associated with the specific forms of discrimination asked about in the survey. Okay, so there's a keynote about the Asian sample technology. You can check that out later. This report has been corrected to address an error in the classification of Asian respondents. In this corrected report, Asian estimates are based on 332 respondents who self-identified as Asian or Asian American only. An earlier version of this report provided an Asian estimated based on 355 respondents. So this is, out of 6,000 people that they, interviewed. Okay, only 355 were Asians. So this is not a significant value at all, but all the same, they wanted to put it in there. Asian estimates based on 355 respondents, which properly included the 332 single race Asian respondents, but also included 23 respondents with identified as Native, Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander, or both Asian and Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander. So this correction did not affect any of the substantive conclusions on the study. Some estimates for Asians changed by 1 to 3%. I mean, and that is not, that is negligible. Okay. So there's another article, How Americans See the State of Race Relations. I might have to do that another day. Okay. But yeah, I think I'm done with this article. So overall, okay, blacks have a negative view on race. Okay. Overall, whites believe that blacks are doing it tough in the United States. Okay. So the truth is in the pudding, and to know the truth in the pudding, you have to eat it. Okay, you have to eat it. So I'll be one for life. I appreciate you for sticking around. So yeah, you have a comment here. If you get a bad start in a race, you will most likely be behind. Whites get 400-year plus head start in that race. Yeah, of course. But you know what it is, okay? Your hard work can counteract that. Okay, there are majority of white people are actually struggling, or in poverty. So a lot of people say that it's a waste of people's blackness. Okay, it's a waste of one's whiteness. Okay, to be poor, or so, but you should know that racism was structured, in the early 1700s, 1800s to deprive a select group of people. But us as a people, and you can't oppress a people for a very long time or forever. As black people are rising, especially when you look at the African continent, the economy of Africa is rising, the population of Africa is rising. Africa is on the rise. Okay, a whole lot of these things are changing. Okay, in the past, whites used to get their resources from, raping Africa, invading Africa of their people resource, natural resource, raw materials, whatnot. Okay, but now they're not able to do that. Okay, so you see Africa is rising. Okay, and you see Europe is falling. Okay. Europe is falling. So there's the strong grip of racism is not there, is not prevalent as it was, say, 100 years ago or even 60 years ago. So we are expecting that to change. We are expecting that to change. As hardworking as Africans are, I think we can actually do better. We can actually do it. Okay. In the coming 50 years to 100 years. Okay, and I forever believe in the Agenda 2063 of the African Union. Okay, that Africa is going to be on top. Okay, by 2063, Africa is going to manage its own affairs. Take control of its natural resources and the distribution of it to benefit Africans. So we're seeing these things implement in the form of the African free trade and the one equal currency for West Africa and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. Okay, other minor issues, dragging our feet or stalling us. Okay, the xenophobic sentiments across the country, i.e., coming out of South Africa and stuff like that. These things need to change, and South Africa is dealing with very severe racism. Okay, where 10% or less than 10% of the population, aka white Europeans, who have established themselves in South Africa or in Africa, going back 1619, I think, okay, have controlled the wealth and the development of South Africa, to benefit that select group of people and depriving majority, 90% of the population. Panther Assad, thanks for joining the stream. Justin Trudeau, the super duper uber liberal. Yeah. I myself, I think I'm a liberal, but I'm never going to be that, ignorant, right? I think being liberal is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but yeah. But yeah, I really appreciate Justin Trudeau for apologizing. Okay, he's a complete contrast to Donald Trump in that regards, where Donald Trump never apologizes for anything, even when he's caught red-handed in his being mischievous. Okay, but Justin Trudeau apologized almost immediately. Okay, so yeah, that makes a difference. Okay, makes a difference. So yeah, I think I'm done with my stream. Okay, how did you all like it? Follow me on Instagram.